Listen, I need you to understand something right from the start. What we're looking at for this weekend isn't just another winter storm. This is a fundamentally different beast than what we typically see rolling across the country. We're dealing with a zonal flow pattern, which means instead of getting that classic dip and rise you see with most storm systems, we've got precipitation and cold air colliding in a straight line from west to east. And when that happens, when you get that direct collision over such a massive geographical area, the impacts don't stay localized. They spread, they intensify, they become the kind of event that entire regions remember for years. Right now, as I'm breaking this down for you on Tuesday afternoon, January 20th, the signals are screaming at us from every model, every data point, every atmospheric indicator we have available. We're not just talking about snow anymore. We're talking about a multifaceted disaster involving historic snowfall totals, crippling ice accumulations, and life-threatening cold that's going to persist long after the precipitation ends. The upper Midwest is already feeling the bite with wind chills 30 degrees below normal. And folks, that's just the appetizer. What's coming for the weekend is going to make today's cold look comfortable. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now let's move on. Now here's where everything changes. Look offshore to the west coast because what appears to be nothing right now is about to become everything. That weak disturbance sitting under a massive ridge near Alaska is going to track across the country, and by Thursday afternoon, it's pushing into California. Meanwhile, the polar vortex is positioning itself just south of Hudson Bay, getting dangerously close to the U.S. border. The center of that vortex will be sitting over western Ontario, and that's when this whole setup goes from significant to historic. Friday is when the transformation happens. That system links up with the subtropical jet coming in from the south, and this is absolutely critical because we haven't seen the subtropical jet active at this magnitude all winter long. La Niña has kept it suppressed, but now it's roaring to life. Here's what makes this pattern so devastating. You've got Pacific moisture streaming in on that subtropical jet while bone-dry Arctic air floods south. The moisture content across the south is going to be incredibly high while the north deals with ridiculously cold wind chills. Right in between those two air masses, in that battleground zone, is where we're going to see absolutely catastrophic impacts. What's really alarming about this setup is the zonal nature of the flow. Instead of a deep trough swinging toward a higher ridge, we're seeing this west-to-east straight-line pattern. That means thick precipitation is going to meet these freezing temperatures across a massive geographical area. This isn't going to be confined to one region or one state. This is going to be a multi-state disaster affecting tens of millions of people from Texas to the Carolinas and up into the mid-Atlantic. Let me walk you through the timeline because the evolution of this storm is complex. Friday afternoon, snow develops from the front range of the Rockies down into the Texas Panhandle near Amarillo. We might see some freezing drizzle around Lubbock initially, but overnight, Friday into Saturday, watch Lubbock and Midland transition to freezing rain and sleet. Snowfall will be overspreading the Texas Panhandle into Oklahoma, so Amarillo, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa are all going to see accumulating snow Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon is when the ice show really ramps up, and this is where things get truly dangerous. Central and North Texas, including portions of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Texarkana, Pine Bluff in Arkansas, Shreveport, Monroe, and Jackson, Mississippi are all going to be dealing with significant icing. North of that transition zone, Little Rock, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, and McAllister, Oklahoma, are going to see heavy snow bands exceeding an inch per hour. This spreads east into Tennessee by Saturday evening. Memphis, Nashville, Cookeville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, and up into Kentucky around Bowling Green could all see intense snowfall rates. The impact predictions have been upgraded significantly as we've watched this pattern evolve. We're now seeing moderate impact probabilities growing, and that's not including the lake effect snow we're getting Wednesday and Thursday. The storm system building from Friday through Sunday is showing extensive freezing rain, substantial ice accumulation, and historic snowfall totals. As we move through Saturday morning into Saturday evening, the probability of at least minor impacts grows to the 90 to 95 percentile across a huge swath of the country. Then we shift eastward Sunday, and here's where the pattern becomes absolutely brutal. Georgia, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, and the Carolinas are staring down a prolonged, potentially crippling ice storm. The zonal flow means this isn't going to be a quick-moving system. We're looking at a long-duration event, potentially lasting from Sunday into Monday in some areas. The biggest impacts so far are showing up in southern Kansas, south of Kansas City, around Wichita, over Oklahoma, particularly around Tulsa, northern Texas, northern Louisiana going through Arkansas, and southern Missouri. Central Arkansas is looking at some of the strongest impacts. Northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, and Tennessee need to be especially aware. As we transition from Saturday through Sunday, those impacts intensify across Tennessee, Kentucky, northern Alabama, northern Georgia, and across the Carolinas and Virginia. This is where we're getting that strengthening low-pressure system, and your impacts are getting significantly stronger along the East Coast. I've been worried this would happen, and the models are confirming it. The strongest impacts are going to occur as this surface low builds, bringing all that precipitation back over the colder temperatures. When you check the probabilities for moderate impacts, they grow substantially as you move through Saturday. We're looking at probabilities approaching 50, almost 60%, as the system moves through Oklahoma and Kansas across Missouri and Arkansas. Then, as it pushes further east from Saturday into Sunday, watch how those moderate impact probabilities grow across Virginia. This is serious, folks. We're not talking about minor inconveniences anymore. Meanwhile, the Mid-Atlantic could see significant snow from Washington, D.C. and Baltimore through Philadelphia and down toward Richmond, even reaching into the Raleigh area. That region is going to be riding a razor-thin line between snow and freezing rain, and small shifts in track could make huge differences in what precipitation type you see. The strengthening low pressure right along the coast is what's driving these enhanced impacts for the East Coast. Let me show you the preliminary snow totals, because this is where the historic nature of this event becomes crystal clear. Oklahoma could see 12 to 18 inches in the Oklahoma City metro. Tulsa is looking at around 10 inches. Little Rock could get hammered with 16 inches. Moving east, Nashville is looking at 12 to 18 inches. Knoxville and Chattanooga are on that tricky transition line between snow and freezing rain. North Carolina from Asheville to Raleigh could see 12 to 18 inches. Central Virginia might pick up 2 feet. These are not normal snowfall amounts for these locations. This is the kind of storm that gets remembered for generations, the kind that gets compared to the legendary winter events that people talk about decades later. Multiple models are showing pockets of a foot or more across the South and along the Mid-Atlantic where that low pressure forms. We're talking about widespread areas of 12 to 18 inches of snow across multiple states and multiple cities. This is extreme snowfall, especially for southern states that rarely see accumulations like this. The European model is showing that straight west to east zonal flow with thick precipitation getting into the whole track. It's not just the snow either, it's the freezing rain coming with it. The sleet zone is going to create its own set of problems. As we transition into that shallow, warm layer aloft, snow will change to ice pellets, and we could see a couple inches of sleet accumulation in the transition zones. Further south is where the freezing rain becomes catastrophic. Snowflakes will fall from the clouds, melt in that warm layer aloft, then refreeze on contact with surfaces below. East Texas, southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, and throughout Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and the Carolinas, especially South Carolina, could see upwards of ½ inch to potentially 2 inches of ice in the hottest spots. Let me be very clear about what ice accumulations like that mean. This is not just damaging ice. This is crippling ice. We're talking about long-term power outages affecting potentially hundreds of thousands of people. Trees will snap under the weight. Power lines will come down. Roads will become impassable, not for hours, but for days. Emergency services will struggle to respond. This is the kind of ice event that shuts down entire regions and takes weeks to fully recover from. If you're not feeling the cold now, just wait. By Monday, January 26th, we're looking at an Arctic paint bomb across the eastern United States. Temperature departures are going to drop like a rock. Thursday and beyond Thursday into Friday, we're looking at temperatures 40 degrees below normal across the north-central region, moving through the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and out through the Northeast. As we go through Sunday, it drops toward the south-central as that low-pressure system builds and pulls colder air all the way toward the Mid-Atlantic. Sunday into Monday brings much below average temperatures with this anomaly, and the cold air is going to revolve around multiple times. Now let's talk about those wind chills I mentioned earlier, because this is where life-threatening becomes the operative phrase. Friday morning, the upper Midwest is looking at wind chills of 50 to 60 below zero. There's no sugarcoating this. Schools will be canceled. Outdoor activities will be impossible. Frostbite can occur in minutes at those temperatures. Saturday brings more of the same, 40 to 60 below across the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. The freezing line extends all the way to the Gulf Coast, and sub-zero wind chills push deep into Texas. The Texas Panhandle south and east of Amarillo could potentially hit -2 Saturday morning. But here's what really concerns me about this pattern. The cold blast doesn't end with the storm. After we deal with this weekend's precipitation, the cold air is going to continuously keep punching deeper and deeper all the way until Tuesday or Wednesday of the following week. The atmosphere could twirl around and bring more snow after this initial system while everything stays frozen. Nothing thaws out. The temperatures just keep dropping. The models are showing this cold pattern revolving around several times through the atmosphere. The Euro is showing that cold blast lasting all weekend, then Monday and Tuesday, then the deepest punch coming back down again from Tuesday through Thursday across the south. When it does this, when that cold air swings back around, it has the potential to meet up with more precipitation. We could see another round of snow or ice, particularly across the southern states. The GFS model is seeing the same pattern. As you go through Saturday and Sunday, then Monday and Tuesday, watch Wednesday. That cold air swings back around for Thursday and Friday, bringing the chance to whip around more snow in the south. The Canadian model is showing it too. Cold air moves through Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Then look how it swings back around Wednesday and Thursday toward the south. That's potentially bringing more snow to regions that will still be dealing with the impacts from the first round. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next one.